Brothers and sisters and friends, this afternoon we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yo. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition happening right now. It is the 11th of April, 2005. Friday, right?
Yeah, man. It's Friday. TGIF.
Right on. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning on a good Friday.
Actually,
Friday a little bit, yeah.
Actually, I think it is Good Friday. I think ain't Easter on Sunday, ain't it?
You know I don't know nothing about it.
Oh yeah. Jehovah's. Asking the wrong one.
Nothing about it. So
y'all let us know.
Is it Good Friday? Let us know. Pop says Good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas.
Okay.
There you
but
go.
Is it Good Friday or is it just a Good Friday?
That's the question. Mama God is giving us a good morning. RG says top of the morning. He said, well, let's go. Heard that.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, appreciate you guys joining us on this Friday morning. The week has been long for me a little bit. So, I'm happy that it's Friday and the weekend's coming. Lots of stuff going on this weekend. We will definitely talk about all the activities that's happening because that is kind of Haps Friday, and we'll definitely be talking about it. So,
man, a couple we missed, man. Dang, yeah.
Marlon Harrison says, "Good morning, First Sky family, and happy TGIF, everyone. Appreciate that
man.
very much. Let me know if Leia Keeser's in the chat somewhere, and then I don't see my fry yippee IAs. I don't know what's happening around here with that.
I'm not seeing them either, but sometimes the tech be teching.
Yeah, because she was here last week with them, and I didn't see none of them. So yeah, no, don't know what's happening. Sean McCarthy gives us a good morning. Also, Marlon Harrison says Good Friday is next Friday.
Okay, yeah. Sean McCarthy saying April 20th is Easter.
Okay. Got it. Imagine Miller Jenkins says Happy Friday. We made it through this week. Definitely was a tough one. How'd you fare this week, buddy? How you feeling today?
Man, this week was all right. I'm tired, man. I was kind of feeling a little beat down from the week. I don't know, what it is. Been driving around a little extra this week, helping folk out. But I think gonna be resting this weekend.
Well, it was tax week for me, so that's not. I know why I'm worn out for sure.
That part too. My back,
my neck, and my back.
Yeah, man.
Stacey Jean says, "Good morning, First Sky family and friends. Good morning." Kimmer's in the house. Good morning, y'all. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
You got this.
No. Yeah. You call. Yeah. You was looking for it. There you go. Happy Friday. Yip yay. Yip yay yay. Yo yay yip yay yo.
Pretty good.
Okay. The comments was coming in. It was moving on me. I was trying to keep up, but yeah, I think I did all right.
Likely story. No.
Yeah.
Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Matthew Miller Jenkins says UNO is voting on the removal of DEI today. Interesting.
Okay.
Went to a protest in Lincoln's UNL campus on Wednesday about it. All right.
Okay, man.
UNL going off.
Getting down, man. They get down.
They're doing a lot. I gotta give it to them. We always get surprised when we get a little news. As a matter of fact, before we even get to the community updates, there was a event. Shout out to Paul Filmer for putting this in Friends of First Sky Omaha the other day. We missed it. It was an event that happened yesterday, but it was the Institute for Ethnic Studies.
Man,
celebrated Malcolm X's 100th birthday and Black nationalism, and they had a special guest. Man, they had a special guest that came through that was really interesting. Let me see if I can find the information again. Dr. Eric McDuffie, associate professor of history at the University of Illinois and Urbana-Champaign, who shared insights from his new book, The Second Battle for Africa. This is one that I started reading, didn't finish. Garveyism, the U.S. Heartland, and Global Black Freedom. So the brother who wrote that book that I started to read and was getting really interested in came to speak yesterday. Totally missed it, but shout out to UNL.
Man, getting down. Yeah, talking about the legacy of Reverend Little and Miss Louise Little. Yeah, definitely very interesting. At least for me, definitely a chapter of Omaha history that I'm very interested in. As you see, Dr. McDuffie there. Yeah. Shout out to UNL, man. They
Yeah.
get down, man. Not just that. I think they got like a legal department that helps journalists. The School of Law there has a legal program that helps journalists with libel and things like that. In this era of Trump, that's a very revolutionary move. Like UNL gets down.
Most def. RG in the chat says, so I got to ask, man, are we going to see Streetcar Sally pulling a Nancy Pelosi and rocking some some kente cloths between now and the
Hey,
election?
hey, you can't put nothing past her, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. She doubled down with the with the Bud Crawford endorsement.
Yeah, that's funny. Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning, y'all. Appreciate you guys getting up this morning on a Friday. There's definitely some things that we want to get into and talk about today. It's kind of a Haps Friday, and one of the biggest things that's happening this weekend, Empowerment Network is putting down the North Omaha Moving Forward to Transformation 2030. Let's finish the plan.
Man,
Saturday, April 12th, 2025, 8:15 to 12 at Omaha North High again. So definitely check that out. You can go to Empowerment Network, I think it's .org, and get some more information on that, or you see the QR code down there that you can hit. But definitely show up to this. I think it's like a breakfast thing too, breakfast free networking and free community resource. Continuing the conversation from when they did this a month, I think it was last month. They had the first meeting. So yeah, moving forward, they're really trying to bring everybody together who is calling themselves a leader and a mover and shaker in Omaha, and get some conversation happening about how we can move forward and get with this plan transformation. So shout out to Empowerment Network for putting that down. They also have the mayoral and city council candidates will share their thoughts on how they would help move North Omaha forward. So you can have
okay,
some names in the house
man.
over there on North High. So yeah, definitely check this out tomorrow. It's a Saturday morning, 8:15 to 12, breakfast and conversation. And this is something I've been to a few of these back in the day.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're really trying to gather everybody who's trying to really make some change happen and talk about it. Really get in the room and talk about it. So shout out to them for doing that. Highly encourage you guys to go to that meeting. And yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be something else.
Speaking of that, Kimmer in the chat, top of the morning to you, sis. She says, I sent a bunch of my thoughts to Willie about the plan around education in neighborhoods and public safety. Okay.
That's what's up.
Got some changes? You agree with it? You disagree with it? Let us know.
Let us know. We really would like to know what's happening there. Also, this is something very interesting on Friends of First Sky Omaha. It's about homeschooling, unwind and de-stress at the You Can Homeschool Power Hour. This is happening on Ames, the LRL Academy on 2868 Ames Avenue at the Charles B. Washington Omaha Public Library. So there you go. This is happening on the 14th. Come at 6 p.m. Charles B. Washington Library. Any resources that we got out there for homeschooling, I always like to put out because I know some people and people even in my family that are homeschooling and always looking for support.
Man,
Always looking how they can connect with some other families that are doing the same, get some resources, have some conversations, and even have some fellowship amongst the kids because they don't get a whole lot of being around kids when they're being homeschooled. So
man.
with some association and stuff. So yeah, shout out to LRL Academy Inc. and also the Charles B. Washington Library for hosting this. Definitely check it out, April 14th, 6 o'clock. Definitely wanted to put that out there. So yeah, thought that was a good thing to be looking for sure. Also, man, we don't talk about this enough, but there is a music scene going on out here in Omaha. And shout out to our Chad Chimer Mark Manor who's the dude over there, the Homers, man. Get your record collection right, by the way.
Man. Record
Record
store.
store day coming
Record
up.
store.
Yep. But he has hosted a page called Omaha Buzz. We don't talk about it a lot, but Omaha Buzz, I'm gonna get you that. I'm gonna get you the link to his Facebook page so you can sign up. But it's a proper newsletter. He's got all kinds of different genres of music in there too. I like to pick and choose what I want to see, and something caught my eye this time around on Omaha Buzz, which is Derek Higgins. If you those remember Derek Higgins, Derek Higgins from the hood, and also Mind
Man,
and Soul alumni, man, roots of
yeah.
electric jazz. He's got a solo show coming up. Let me get this banner out of the way so I can see it.
There
Great
you
for
go. There you go.
this is Friday. This is tonight actually, 7:30. So Derek Higgins, Big Cat, Expensive People. I got to see where this is at. But actually, there was some information there that he put there. There it is. So a show from Derek Higgins are pretty rare these days. Solo performances are even more uncommon. Higgins is a longtime musician based in Omaha, with accomplished numerous to list in a short blurb for real. So I'm looking to see if I'm scanning this. Do you see Friday, April? I still don't see
11.
where the
It's at the
yeah.
bottom. Friday, April 11th, Metro Jazz Quartet at Lead Center, 7:30 in Lincoln.
That's a different
Hmm.
show. Yeah, I got to find out where Derek's show. But Mark Mann, if you're in the chat, let us know where Derek Higgins' show is at. I wasn't able to grab that. Apologize. But definitely check out his page and get the newsletter. You really be able to find out what's going on. I also see down at the bottom there that there's another show coming on. Jay Influential Force, Eddie North, Zarati C10, Holdy, and more at the Waiting Room tonight at 8 p.m. as well. So Waiting
Nice.
Room bringing back some local hip hop.
Okay.
Actually, not bringing back. They've been doing it. I was corrected on that. They've been doing local hip hop again for a while. So, shout out to the Waiting Room for that. So yeah, some shows out there, some things to be able to see that we're not seeing anywhere else. He's actively looking around at the music scene to see who's doing what. And so, shout out to Mark Manor for providing that information. Definitely check it out. It's called the Omaha Buzz. If you've been seeing it around, I put the Facebook page there. Sign up to the newsletter and get your information there on that. So that's some of the things that are going on, man. We'll talk about more Haps a little later on in the show as well. But we definitely have a theme for the show today that we think is pretty important. Kind of going off of Myron Pierce. If you didn't check out Myron Pierce's
Yeah.
interview, go back to YouTube, check it out, like and subscribe
Yeah.
over there. Check out what Brother Pierce had to say. Powerful. We're gonna have him back again to talk more about it. But buddy, what's on the agenda today for our topic of conversations?
Yeah. As you mentioned, just carrying on our conversation really that we had from Wednesday with Brother Myron Pearson, and building on this idea of talking to the youth, man. What is there for the youth to do? What is it that they want to do? And this is, in response and in the context of the conversation that's been happening in the community. I'm seeing it around this Levi Carter Lake sports complex. And then also I want to throw in this whole Omaha North and YMCA project. Again, as we see, there are sports things coming for the community, but what else is there for them to do? And I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm really just asking, what else is there for them to do? And want to juxtapose that with, of course, the shootings that happened last week, and not just Brother Myron Pierce, who we spoke to, but also today is the funeral of Brother Shalimar, who, again, the 15-year-old who lost his life on that tragic day as well. So definitely prayers going out to the family of Brother Shalimar Davis. And I believe that I don't know if that fund GoFundMe is still open.
Yeah, it was a Cash App. Brother Sherman Wells actually came on and said they reached their goal, and he was really
Okay.
happy and thanking the community. So yeah, appreciate everybody that donated to the Cash App there.
For sure. But if you still want to, show your respect, show your condolences to the family, today is the funeral. So if you're interested, we'll share that information a little later on. But yes, definitely talking about those things as far as, again, what's going on with the youth. What is there for them to do, especially in light of some of these tragedies? Of course, there are bills happening. We spoke about this earlier this week with Senator McKinney and LB 48, which was amended into LB 382. My apologies again. LB 382, which again addresses youth and family resources. Again, the goal of this bill from Senator McKinney is to create 2 sites to address family issues, dynamics, mental health, et cetera, et cetera. So there are efforts, but again, let's have the conversation. What is there for the youth to do? And what are our thoughts? I've seen a lot of people, having some comments and having some feelings about this whole youth sports complex at Levi Carter Lake. Again, $45 million youth complex being rolled out. I believe they just broke soil on that project. It's expected to open in late 2026. But again, a lot of people have a lot to say about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole project. And of course, Senator McKinney even chiming up on the situation as well. So we'll jump into what he had to say a little later on in the show. But yeah, again, that's the conversation today. Also want to highlight, what Brother Sherman Wells has coming up, bringing back his youth activities later on this year in the summer. So yeah, let's dive into it. What is there for the youth to do? Some Haps things. I think OPA got some programs out there. So yeah.
It's not just about programs. People that got boots to the roots on this too. So we'll definitely have to speak to Brother Kasim at the Black Agenda Alliance.
Man,
Talk about the Survival Club, the Flag Football Club, everything that he's working on over there with working with actual kids that could be in trouble, and they're coming to them and getting some mentorship from those programs. So we'll definitely be bringing him on later on in the season as well to talk about what the upcoming things happening. And yeah, it's got to be an ongoing conversation that we have about this. Like, we can't just want to keep on trying to throw babies in jail. We need to like have something for them to do. So what
Man,
is there? And there's actually lots going on. We dig into it 5 minutes, we find a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll definitely be
exactly.
talking about it.
Yep,
Yep,
yep.
yep.
So on that note, about 15 minutes in, let's go ahead and smell the coffee beans, even though Paul ain't got none.
Man,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm feeling the difference between not having my cup of Joe in the morning. I'm telling
Hey
you,
man, hey.
it's a
I've
trip.
been somebody was telling me about the mushroom coffee. Is anybody on that
I'm
that
about to,
mushroom?
I'm about to hit that. I'm about to try that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anybody got any results? Any reviews? Let me know. Let me know.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Sean McCarthy. He said Derek Higgins is prolific as hell. He just dropped 2 releases last month via his Bandcamp page. Definitely.
Nice.
Derek Higgins with the Bandcamp page selling physical copies of music has been doing this whole time, and of course the whole music industry is coming back around and doing physical copies. He's
Mm-hmm.
been killing the game.
Aha.
He says Derek Higgins performances tonight at Grapefruit Records, 1125 Jackson. Appreciate that, man.
Okay. Okay.
Appreciate that
So,
info. So those of you who want to go check out Brother Higgins, please do. I learned so much on that Roots of Electric Jazz show. It was ridiculous.
man,
He's a genius.
low key got to go back do some sampling.
Yeah. Love to
Mm.
find some of that, all
Mm.
that energy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be better
Hey.
to God.
Lead poisoning in children under 7 is scary, but it's also 100% preventable. Not only can lead be found in paint and soil, it can be found in many common spices, certain baby foods, and brought home from job sites. Children with lead poisoning might not show any symptoms until their levels are dangerously high. So ask your healthcare provider for a lead test for your child. You can help prevent lead poisoning in children. Brought to you.
Shout out to Douglas County Health Department for that ad. Appreciate that.
Man.
If you want to advertise with us, definitely hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. We're definitely doing a lot more these days. And from the election season, really, is kind of like where all this spurred. So
Yeah.
shout out to everybody who's got campaigns. You still got campaigns over there? You running in the generals? Come to death row.
Man, holla at us. Holla at us.
Holla,
Call
holla,
me.
holla,
Call me.
holla,
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 holla.
holla.
Drunk ship in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys. Sean McCarthy says still craving some drunk ship. Still sold out, but I checked their site remotely. Yeah, man. Yeah, I check in every once in a while with the fam, and it's like, what's going on? And man, it's when you're trying to do something ethically and you're trying to do something the right way, and you're trying to really pay people, and you're trying to really, it's tough. It's tough. The supply chain is thin.
Man.
They were getting it from one farm in Ethiopia at one point, and I don't know what happened with that connection there, or if it's dried up on that side. But finding ethical situations in order to really kind of push coffee is a tough game for a startup. So yeah, I appreciate them with their heads still in the game. They're still working for it, but if they're gonna do it right. So shout out to everybody who is still checking it out, like Sean McCarthy, man. That was one of the best collaborations we had in a while.
Man.
I wanted to continue that for sure, and I miss it too. I miss it too. Coffee ain't matching up these days no more.
Hey, it ain't the same, man.
Matthew Miller Jenkins in the chat says Lion Mane's hot cocoa is life changing. See,
Okay.
needed to hear this. Gets that focus going and eliminates the ambient noise in my head. Thank you for
Yeah.
the testimony on that. I needed that big time because
I've been
I'm really about to buy some. Try it out.
I've been hearing good things, man. I've been hearing good things. So yeah. Got to check it out.
I don't know how I'm gonna give up that Joe though, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, see, I'm not a big Joe drinker, but I can use a little pick me up in the morning.
Got a head start then. Wanda Luz gives us a good morning. Pops, is that a Boogie Jones joint? Yeah, it is.
Hey,
If we got any ska, any reggae on it, Boogie Jones.
man, right near the beach.
He gets down. Jess Parker gives us a good morning. Marlon Harrison says, you guys got to check get Chris McCroy to come and talk about what he's doing with the 100 Black Men of Omaha. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Glad
Yeah.
you reminded me about that. I actually ran into him somewhere last year and we talked about him coming on. So thanks for the reminder for sure.
Man, shout out to my brother Chris McCroy, man. We went to high school together. We were actually Omega Squires together.
Hey,
yeah. No, that's a good brother right there, man. Definitely happy and proud that he's went on to lead 100 Black Men of Omaha. And got to tap in. I'm sure they're doing some good work with that brother at leadership.
Love that. RG in the chat said these tariffs probably ain't gonna help drunk ship situation either, man. This tariff situation is something else, man. We're not gonna really get into it today, but the insider trading allegations are wild.
Wow. Hey, I'm not surprised though. I called it.
We're not in the follow the money season yet, but if anybody has been getting into like the stock market, if you guys are in the stock market and investing and so on and so forth, and you were with us with this kind of wild trade thing that happened the other day where all the stuff shot up and then came back down and over him tweeting some tariff stuff, man. Like this is it's insane. And where we are now, China's like 145% tariffs and they're not backing down, so they're 145 back at us.
Man,
everything in your house is made from China, bro. Like you about to go up 250%.
Hey, might be a good time to start selling stuff. I don't know.
Man. Just don't sell your soul.
Hey, that part. Ooh, man, yeah, that part.
We got a Snaps Dennis in the chat saying good morning. Appreciate you.
Hey, that's Chef. Top of the morning, sis. Yeah, top of the morning, sis.
Hey, we got to talk to you. We got Chat Chimers kickback coming up this summer, so holla again.
Holla.
Sean McCarthy says, yeah, kudos to drunk shit for still grinding, pun intended.
Hey, I like that.
Despite the difficulties of doing business today. You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. Something else. Matthew Miller Jenkins says, Home Defense is a brand I vouch for, and it's hot cocoa instead of coffee. Okay, I never even heard of that one before. Home Defense. Okay, check it out. Appreciate that. All right, Tal Yuri in the chat saying, peace and blessings, everyone. Right on. Thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate that.
Yeah, brother Tyrone Yuri in the building.
There you go, man. Hey, that's what's up. I had brother Yuri in the actual building in the bag.
Yeah, his video's still up on YouTube if you want to check out what he had to say. Yeah, appreciate the words from the elder, man. Big time.
Yeah, appreciate that. And let us know who you backing now, man. Who you gonna
Yeah.
Because I know you ain't done working. Out here. So that's what's up. Appreciate that. Heather Williams says I agree with Marlon. Chris is a real one. Appreciate that. We'll definitely have him on right. As soon as we possibly can.
Yeah.
RG says just stay out of Family Dollar. Entire store is made in China. Yeah. Family Dollar, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like,
man, hey,
you don't realize how much stuff is made in China. You don't even understand like how many things you got in your house that you gonna buy this week. The trip. Stephen Abraham says, shout out to all candidates that ran in Omaha and Lincoln. Yes. Yeah. Respect. Matthew Miller Jenkins says Hoover did that. We did what Trump is doing, and we know how this from history. Yeah, man. This is not as a matter of fact, somebody put a post up about the Boston Tea Party was actually a protest against tariffs. This has been going on for a while. So he's definitely coming in and using some tactics and trying to do some things. And in this climate, how volatile everything is really crazy. But hey, it can't stop for what we got to do around here. How we got to live our lives. What we going to do this weekend. What we doing with the kids.
That part. Actually, yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into that question. Because it got brother Tyrone Yuri in, and I would love to hear his thoughts on it. That was kind of his big, message in his interview. Again, if you missed it. Brother Tyrone Yuri ran for city council. We interviewed him. Check it out on YouTube. First Guy Omaha on YouTube.
Please do.
But that was one of his big messages was, again, the youth. What about the youth? What is the youth doing? What is there for them to do? And that's the big question, man. I will start with, again, sending condolences and thoughts out to the Davis family. My sis Snaps in the building. She was kind of reminding me that we've had interactions, and I actually met his mom a while back. So shout out to Latoya Henderson, his mom, and just the Henderson family, the Davis family. Again, shout out to those who did donate and help out with the family. There was a GoFundMe and Cash App floating around, but As we mentioned earlier, it looks like they did reach their goal. So yeah, shout out to Brother Sherman Wells for making that announcement. But again, if you want to show up and support the family, and if you're familiar with the family, the funeral is today at Pleasant Green Baptist Church. That's 5555 Larimore Avenue. Again, will be held today at Pleasant Green Baptist Church. That's 5555 Larimore Avenue. I'm not seeing a time, but again, if you're familiar with the family, maybe you can reach out and support, man. So
Rest in peace, little brother.
Man, rest in peace, rest in peace. And just starting with that in mind, I was actually reading through the story before we jumped on air. And according to the Omaha World Herald report, he was suspended from Burke when on the day of his shooting. And it just makes me think, like, man, what is there for these kids to do? Like, even when you get in trouble when there's shootings, maybe if he had been at the Boys and Girls Club or just doing something else instead of out in the alley where he was when he got shot, maybe there would be another son and father here. And again, I'm not saying there aren't things to do, but let's identify these things and let's amplify these things and push this. And starting with sports, it seems like sports is kind of becoming one of the more available things to do, especially with some recent announcements. Of course, it's coming out of Nebraska Examiner. Shout out to Cindy Gonzalez, always doing the good work. $45 million youth complex said to include Omaha's largest basketball facility, poised to open in late 2026. Of course, there's been a lot of backlash. Actually, some people kind of not very hopeful, it seems like, of this, kind of skeptical that, Mayor Stother or whoever the mayor will be moving forward would actually, bring this to the fruition or the idea or the intent that it was. And that being, again, opportunities for kids in North Omaha. Actually, Senator McKinney, who was a part of the legislation that led to, again, this is coming out of the hundreds of millions of dollars that came to North and South Omaha. And again, this grant, $45 million, was intended specifically for this idea, again, to push and create opportunities for youth. As Senator McKinney said on Facebook, for clarity, the sports complex project at Levi Carter Park is a result of the Economic Recovery Act passed by Senator Justin Wayne and me. The goal was to create a space for youth sports in North Omaha so our kids wouldn't be priced out or forced to travel to West Omaha to participate, which some families just can't do. While Levi Carter Park wasn't our first choice for the location, it was the site that was available. The city of Omaha received the grant from the state to carry out the project. Ultimately, the mission was and still is to give our kids opportunities and real alternatives to the streets. And so again, my question to all of you is, how do we feel about this project? Do we feel like this is, a way to do that? Is sports still the answer, for our youth? And if not, what else? And really, has anyone talked to them? What do they want to do? So just kind of opening up the conversation. Paul B.
Yeah, yo.
What's your thoughts, man?
I just am tripping on. I like how Senator McKinney came through with his for clarity, because this is right on the heels of us talking about the endorsement, Bud Crawford's endorsement of Mayor Stothard, and she's the one that's putting all these posts out and doing press about this Levi Carter Park. Like, this is people are saying that she was kind of trying to get the black vote by talking about all these things that are coming up like this. And her name's been floating around as the one, like, oh, who are you going to choose for mayor? Because Stothard, on Stothard's watch, we getting this Levi Carter Park and stuff going on in North and so on and so forth. And brother McKinney is just like, for clarity, this has been in the works. So we've been talking about the DED, Economic Recovery Act, all the millions of dollars that came in now for a couple of years now because of this huge thing that Senator McKinney and Senator Justin Wayne did. And now we're kind of seeing what's coming on with the fruits of it. And yeah, it's bringing questions. I mean, overall, I feel like it's a positive thing. It's a good thing. We need stuff to do. I do think sports, I'm not a big sports guy myself, but I think it's super important for kids to be, for me to be who I am now and not really into sports too much. I played all the sports coming up though. I was on the water polo team. I was doing high dive. I was playing basketball at lunch. I was playing flag football on the weekend. I was playing all the sports.
Man.
So because it was something to do. It was if kids want to get active and be out and be doing things. So I definitely think it. And the times I was on team, to me, being on a basketball team or any kind of team playing sports was kind of like being in a band. You know, like you got your bandmates, you guys are communicating with each other. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very important thing to learn. I haven't learned it more in music than I did in sports, but I see the necessary. You know, it's very necessary for kids to kind of get out and do this. So I think it's a good thing. But there's people out here with some quick questions, like Maggie Miller Jenkins is saying, who will run it, who will staff it, how involved will the police be? You know, we understand that there's like a soccer, there's a flag football league in South that is kind of was built by it was like a conglomeration of the police department and some other group. I think
Mm-hmm.
Pace is what it's called, Pace, right?
Yeah, Pace.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's stuff out there that are being run like that. Yeah, I want to know how involved would the police be, and not just involved in like putting the programs out there, but be involved in being in the scene, on the scene. You know, they really are policing the kids in North Omaha in a big way and try to put them in jail. So how involved will the police be is a good question. So yeah, other questions I'm seeing, other questions in the chat that are involved here. I'm trying to scan through real quick.
No, that's kind of if you they still talking about Trump.
No, they come on then.
Yeah, ain't talking about that. What they talking about? Ain't talking about that. Maggie Miller Jenkins is kind of echoing my thoughts though, and that's where my mind is. She also says the powers that be want our youth dead or locked up, and we see that happening in tandem as well. Again, this whole bill to be able to lock up 12-year-olds and treat 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds as adults when they do get in trouble or make mistakes. Let's just call it what it is. So there is that effort as well. So again, we gotta one big thing, and I learned this from you, Paul, is rejecting the narrative and having the intention of rejecting the narrative. And there is a narrative out there that our youth are. Man, I was just actually reading an article this morning on Senator Reapy, who was one of the senator who's pushing this bill. And there's comments of him in this article like, let's just be honest, our young men are creating more and more heinous crimes. And I understand, man, like, yes, our youth are doing some crazy things. Some of them
Right.
But what alternatives do they have? As the saying goes, idle mind is a devil workshop. What is there for them to do?
I just said, Maggie Miller Jenkins had a comment too. Sports is amazing, but how about civic engagement, life skills building, STEM training, etc.? Hopefully, those can be parts that are included. We did come across lots of like STEM programs, especially in North Omaha. When we were looking at that last year and wanted to kind of highlight some of that and be a part of what was going on there. There are some other programs out there, but just not the sports complex type of things. And so I still think it's something else. We also need to talk a little bit about what's happening with the YMCA situation and that as well. So there's going to be a couple of places where kids are going to be able to expand a little bit on that stuff. So I'm sold on the idea that it's a very important thing. Everything that can happen in North Omaha can get distorted, and then we got to think about, well, what does this mean for North Omaha? What groups are coming in from other places to utilize the situation and at the expense of our kids and in our community. There's a lot of questions there, but I think that the building of it, I think, especially when you think about where the money comes from, this is an opportunity for us to be able to take a really close look at this, because we started with the senators back in the day when they came up with this idea and they started to push this idea and went through the legislature and they got the money. We're on the side, we're on this side of it now. DED is distributing money here and there, and so we're seeing organizations get paid. We're seeing stuff now being built by this money that the senators went out to go get. And we also have saw along the way that they had to kind of monitor this as it went, because even though they did their job, which their only job was to get the money, pass the bill, they still had to go above and beyond after that, because there was all these different ways that the money was trying to leave and there were so many things that happened after that. They did their best on trying to keep things on track above and beyond. So is it right? Is it going to get to this place where where the thing is getting built?
It's a fair question.
Right.
It's a fair question. And, after watching the whole saga that you just laid out, here we are years later, and it so disappointed with how the DED handled the situation that the senators felt the need to create the Inland Port Authority. Like that's why that entity exists, because the DED didn't do what was expected. So I understand a healthy dose of skepticism about these projects, but I do feel like what I'm seeing and just kind of the energy I'm feeling is it's so much skepticism that is leaning towards people not wanting to get involved or not even really giving it a chance before it gets off the ground. That's what I'm feeling like and seeing. And let's give it a chance. That's how I'm feeling. Let's give it a chance. Sports are amazing, and I do want to say it's not. I think there is a feeling also kind of undertone of this communities of color, quote unquote, always getting rap or basketball is that our only way out. You know what I mean? And I don't think youth sports is really about kids going to the league. Like that's not the idea. It's about the other intangible things and really tangible things. Like Sister Kimra is saying, our youth need physical. Our kids also need physical activity. It's about physical and mental and civic health. And yeah, being a part of a team, playing team sports kind of also lends itself to understanding you're also a part of a community. You're also a part of something larger than yourself. So those things go a long way to our youth being a part of the community, being a part of a team, being a part again of something bigger than themselves. But I do also, and I want to get into some other things as far as what Magic Miller Jenkins is saying. What other things are there? Because not all youth do want to play sports, and it does seem like that's as Cameron's talk about the Omaha North Stadium, we got this thing at Levi Carter Lake. I also think there's been reports about another sports facility by Nathan Hale, like off of 60th and Sorensen. So again, a lot of sports opportunities coming, and it has its value. But what else is there? What else do the youth want to do? What else is there out there? So definitely love to hear y'all thoughts on that.
Love to move into that direction. When we spoke to Myron Pierce just last show, you can definitely check that interview out on YouTube. He talked about that. He said something that I hadn't heard many people say. Anybody talking to the youth, asking them what they want to do, I think it's really important. Brother Yuri in the chat is saying youth minds need to be engaged. Cultural activities are good for our young people. Most deaf on all levels, not just the physical, but the mental as well. We're definitely on the same page with that. I think Magic Miller Jenkins says, will the youth center be like the detention center and empty?
Man, hopefully not. Right. Hopefully not.
Heather Williams, A.V. Sorensen is also available to hoop. When I voted at Adams, there were some young men playing ball there as well. So yeah,
nice. Okay.
Yeah. There's I think there's a lot. Kimmer says play team sports also set you up to know how to legislate. That's interesting. None of us as the lucky officials make decisions by ourselves. That's very true. That teamwork aspect, I think, is something that's specific to sports. There's you can do other things as well. You can have STEM programs and so on. So we can be on teams, I guess, STEM teams, and build things together and so on. But that sports, man, the thing about kids getting together and being on a team and making decisions, really interesting dynamic there that needs to be practiced for sure. Anthony Rogers right in the chat, all youth need to be seen and heard and held, including LGBTQIA youth. So this is talking about who would be involved, what's going to happen as far as all groups being involved.
That's true, man. Especially talking about sports. You seeing these debates happening in Lincoln, especially talking about sports. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great point.
Kimmer says, when I had the kids at the library, they wanted youth center. The only thing is they wanted to be open 24 hours.
Hey,
like a recipe for trouble there. I don't know about 24 hours. So? Go home, go to bed, kids. Go to bed. That's okay.
I mean, but for those who don't have a home, or for those who have parents that work overnight, I mean, there are kids outside at night. You know what I mean? For the youth that's downtown, if they had a center that was safe to go to, that might help. It might help.
It would be interesting to see. Definitely come from places that had youth centers that way. Back in the day, it was kind of more popular back in the 70s and 80s. Really, youth centers. They'd come shoot pool. I remember going to one and shooting pool in the early 80s. Like just a spot where they would come and hang out, and they had activities. They had a gym on the second floor and a bunch of stuff. So like,
hey, this was like a late night thing I did when I was younger. Sports, teen clubs? Are there any teen clubs in you know what I'm saying? Like in North Omaha or in Omaha in general? Man.
Notorious for the teen club situation back in the day too. I remember that was heavy in the 90s. And teen clubs, man, that's a tough one too. Another thing that happens too, I think out here, especially in Omaha, is they'll come up with one thing and then everybody kind of got to go to that. And that doesn't always last. You keep going. You got to go to the same thing and engage in the same way with the same people all the time. You're going to there's going to be some fights. There's going to be like there's going to be some stuff. So I think the other part is like let's have more stuff and not just like one thing for kids to do. This is why I'm kind of excited about the youth facilities, the sports facilities.
Man, actually,
like, yep, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, finish your thought.
Yeah, just that was it. There's just like I feel like the sports. First of all, there are going to be a lot of diverse, different sports going on in the actual thing, but it's also just something else to do besides some of these other ideas we're talking about.
Yeah, and I just wanted to build on that. Senator Terrell McKinney is in the chat, man. Top of the morning to you, brother. And he says he's calling it out. Says sports is a tool. I wouldn't be a senator without wrestling. The innovation and he also says, to your point, the innovation district will have other opportunities for youth as well. He goes on to say, if passed, the family resource centers will also be open 24/7 for youth and families. So again, that's what I was mentioning earlier, LB 48, which has now been amended to LB 382. So again, if you are one of the ones who think 24/7 youth facilities, family resource centers are needed, as Kimra's saying, because some of these babies don't have a home to go to.
Right.
And even when they did have a home, I'll be honest, when I was young, I was outside. It's not hard to be outside, especially as a youth in this day and age.
Yeah, even when you have a family that you can go home to.
Man, even when you have two-parent households, single, like even when you have a home, a good situation at home, some of these kids are still just getting into trouble because they're outside. So if there are other options for them to do with their friends that are safe, that are, secure, that are organized, then we'll be better off. And Senator McKinney, I would love to hear some of the other things that might be available at this innovation district at Levi Carter. Will there be some STEM stuff? Will there be some gaming centers, some computer rooms, podcast studios? Like, what are the youth interested in now?
Good question. A lot of youth are interested in video games. I've always talked about that. I think Senator Wayne was always talking about like, why don't we build the video game center? There's a lot that can be done there. Anthony Rogers Writer says, how about free recording studio spaces?
Hey, okay.
No Chance the Rapper without free recording studios in Chi-Town public libraries.
Man, actually, it's funny you mention that because I think the program that Chance was a part of is in Omaha. I think Chance Chance was a Louder Than a Bomb kid.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chance was an LTAB kid. So wow. shout out to Michelle Claire Corleone, who's a local artist who came out of LTAB. Man, Giovanni X, you know what I'm saying? A lot of my in-house cats came out of Louder Than a Bomb. So yeah, that's is that still going? They're like, what's up with Louder Than a Bomb, man? We gotta check up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And where's the studio for the Louder Than a Bomb kids? Is that's happening? I like that idea a lot. Also, I was just thinking, shout out to Assembly of the Saints, who does have a podcast studio that kids can go to and so on. There are some people that are doing some of that stuff. Shout out to the Lab Recording Studios. Big Wade has been working with kids. I think he goes in and teaches kids how to work in the studios. He goes out and does it. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on too. How widely accessible is it? And could we get something on that level? For especially us as artists, I would love to have a youth center that had podcast studios, recording studios, music lessons, all kinds of stuff in one space at the level of a complex, like a big sports complex.
We tripping. We tripping.
What we tripping on?
Shout out to Lakeisha Green and the Union for Contemporary Arts.
Look.
We tripping.
It's coming together, bro. It's coming together. Union for Contemporary Art has so many art programs and so many things inside of it that right. This is why we're on this tip this past few weeks because of that story as well. Because I'm already calling the Deuce the EGOT training center because you got to understand what's going on over there. Union for Contemporary Art has got classes for kids. They got kids coming in and out there all the time to learn how to do stuff like screen printing, clay making, all kinds of visual and physical arts. Across the street, you got NOMA. They're over there teaching kids music, drum lessons happening over at Noma. Loves Jazz. Mama calling Loves Jazz. I'm calling Loves Jazz.
Hey, there you go.
But you know what we're talking about? We're talking about Noma. That's right across the street. Katie Rain's Productions is right across the street. Got an office across the street now where she's training and employing models. So there's models walking up and down the street on this corner, learning how to conduct themselves in photo shoots and so on and so forth. There's photographers over there all the time shooting everything. It's turning into this corner where you can learn acting. I mean, that's the other part of the Union for Contemporary Art. They have the Shirley Tyree Theater, Black Box Theater in there. So now you got acting over there, you got art making, you got music, you got all of it, and it's growing. It's growing. So that's what we say. When we look 5 minutes into like what is there for people to do, that's a lot of it. I think the distinction I'm having is the distinction between kids going on their own, finding some stuff to do, or or their parents dropping them off somewhere to do something, or stuff like Union for Contemporary Art where they got to like make sure that they involve their kids and so on and so forth, where parents can be more involved. But instances where parents can't be that involved and they need to go work and they need your kids be involved in something,
Man.
that's what's lacking more than the rest of it. We can find programs and things and stuff to do with our kids, but where can the kids go on a bigger level, on a level where they can kind of go on their own and do some stuff as well, and not so that it's such a burden on the parents all the time. I kind of do see that as being part of that. So I appreciate everybody who's jumping in with these comments. Brother Yuri says manhood and womanhood training to include youth and parents that teach historic values and skills in the summertime to teach the power of culture, identity, and life choices.
Man.
Lots of things that we can put together for sure. I really understand it. And third spaces, that's the other thing I was thinking. I appreciate that, Ronald Harrison. So we got to create more third spaces for our youth. Sadly, too many places are scared of the generation and don't want them around in their spaces.
And for those who aren't clear on what a third space is, it's a third living or social space. You usually have work or school is one space, and then you have home, which is another space. But where is that space that you go to get away from those things and, to kind of socialize and get into other hobbies and other parts of yourself and your own personality and explore those things? Where is that third place? And for a lot of people, internet and social media is that, but you got to live alive.
Well, I'll tell you one place. This is another thing that aligns with us this past season is the library situation, the partnership that we have with the library. Kimmer says, yes, we did Louder Than a Bomb when I was at the library. The kids loved it, and they were amazing writers. The library system that is being built now, especially the main library branch down on 72nd and Dodge, is their plans to really expand what the library can do is huge. We've been on the inside of this a little bit because we've been partnering with them and finding out this is going to be one of them third spaces. They're designing the library to be more of a third space for people to do stuff. Exactly what you're talking about doing. Find themselves, dig into stuff to figure out who they are and what they want to do, resources to be able to do that, and spaces to go to be able to do that. All of the libraries all around Omaha are going to get upgraded to be like part do spaces, part libraries. So each branch is going to have the ability to do that, but that main branch is also going to be a huge space for that. So that's another place. We just named 5 or 6 or 7 major situations that kids could be involved in and go to, and resources for them and stuff to do that's interesting, just as the sports complex are interesting as well, and the sports complex coming on top of that. And I'm shout out to Bud Crawford's B&B Boxing. Shout out to all the places that kids are going to now to get into sports as well. I think this is the reason why Bud was really so about what's happening with the North project, the North, because all those cats, like you said, Houston Alexander, all those cats go over to the YMCA right there,
big time.
And now this is getting ready to get a heavy upgrade, stadium for North. So overall, it feels positive about all the things that there is to do and so on. So I'm kind of going to be like, the next conversation we need to have, the next show needs to kind of slide into who's going to be helping do this.
Man.
Where's the brother Kasims at? We need more brother Kasims to help, bring these kids to these things or help them be involved, or, with plenty of programs, and we can always start more programs as well. But who's going to man these programs? This is something that he's been asking for. He's like, brothers need to step up and come over here and help me put the flag football thing back together and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man,
where are the people? Where are the people at?
I mean, just think about, where the community can be in 10 years if we really invest in some of these things, because not every kid is going to make it to the league, but we got some talent in Omaha. Somebody can make it's a couple in the league from Omaha.
Yeah.
And again, if we, have a community that wraps their arms around them, then the chances of them coming back to Omaha and giving back to Omaha, just as the community wrapped its arms around me and now I'm giving back to Omaha.
Right.
We got to keep that cycle going. And I'm thinking of, LA. I'm thinking of, the Snoop Football League and, so many other efforts of reform gang members like Brother Kasim, like Brother Myron, who are actually working in the community, providing, like Brother Myron said, we need to elevate these things. We need to big up these people. And so that's the big part of this conversation is not just, highlighting what programs are out there, but yeah, I love that thought, Paul. Like, okay. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of people say on social media. I'm seeing a lot of that in the conversation. Like, okay, who's going to run this stuff? And let's not let our skepticism, about all of this steer us away. Let's make sure, let's dig in. Let's make sure that the Kasims and, the other coaches that are out there in the community doing good work are a part of these things.
And shout out to Senator McKinney and Senator Justin Wayne. We can't act like there ain't no money behind this no more. There's even funding for this stuff that they put together. So and it's coming to fruition. These things are being built. So it's not do the kids need something? It's to me it's two questions. First of all, what do the kids want to do? Because shout out to Myron Pierce for bringing that up last show. Anybody asking what they want to do? Like anybody bringing them in on these decisions? You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of decisions that needs to be made for them, but also what do they want to do is one question. But the biggest question for me is where are the people that are going to help facilitate this? It is about the people at this point. Heather Williams says for a lot of parents, there's a transportation barrier. There's an entire group of kids that want to participate, but they can't. Well, they can. He probably can't. But yeah, like that's my point. Like it's because and Senator Wayne was saying this too. This stuff costs money, bro. Like it costs money to join leagues, drive to the west side where stuff is happening. Time is money. Parents got working two jobs or something like that. Can't really get. So there's barriers here, and it's like, okay, if there's going to be barriers there, we're already on one side trying to work on helping people get, living wages so they can be able to have a decent job, decent time of life, balance, work-life balance, so on and so forth, and be able to be there for their kids. But if they can't, what is there for kids to do? And yes, there's plenty of resources, there's plenty of facilities, there's plenty of programs, but where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the volunteers? Where are the situations where people can help, maybe even pay some folks to be able to facilitate some of these things? Where are the jobs there? It's a question that is going to have to be really looked at. Shout out to Brother Kasim who taught me this. Brother Kasim is the one who taught me this. He's like, yeah, he over there doing the whole flag football stuff himself. He put that down so he can do survival club because he can't do both and he's looking for men. He's looking for people to come through and help do this, put these programs together. They're over there sitting on land. The programs are there. What are we going to do? Wanda Lewis says we need tech training for the youth as well. Yeah. There's, like I said, there's programs. You'd be surprised how many STEM programs and tech programs there are in North Omaha alone. You'd be surprised at all the stuff that's out there. But again, how do we get the kids involved if there's no people to facilitate these? We gotta do something with that. McKimmer says it takes being willing to work with people, even if you don't like them sometimes.
She also says getting volunteers isn't some super easy task. That's why people are out here teaching classes on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the point of, for the purposes of our conversation, it has to be done. Like that's the next point, the next evolution in this conversation is the programs are out there. We got to connect with the people who are doing it. And yeah, how can we expand these things? How can we help Kasim find some brothers who can run it so he can go off and do other things? How can we get people to, work on this transportation thing? We got some good folks. We got this new transportation board because that is a part. Like as you're talking about it, I'm having flashbacks of me, in the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, taking the bus by myself to Creighton, all the way back down to Miller Park just to go to Upper Bound or, to the Y to do things. Like, yeah, I sometimes I had to move around myself if I wanted to be involved in these things, but not every kid's going to take that initiative.
Right.
And, how do we alleviate some of these barriers?
Right. So good stuff to ask and to come up with and think about as well. Yeah, shout out to, I was gonna give some flowers to Celeste Butler. Celeste
Man,
Butler has been working out of Union for Contemporary Art, teaching people art over there. She's one of the soldiers that are showing up and on a regular basis, no matter what's going on, no matter what the turmoil is happening. And what she's saying, hey, this is a space that I can do some good work out of, and she's been over there teaching classes and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out here that can do that. That can put some of their time as an artist as well, put some of their time out. Shout out to Big Wade who does that as well. Teaches kids, recording sessions and how to be a musician. So
man,
I'm thinking there's a lot of people that are actually coming up in my mind. I don't want to cycle through them all,
I got
but
one.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, before we get out of here, because we can't talk about have this conversation about the youth and not mention my man Marcy H in the Culture House.
Hey,
And yeah. Put some respect on his name, man. He's been doing great work with the youth, giving young folk a place, especially creatively, those who aren't into sports. Giving them a place to come record music, do graffiti. Actually, shout out to him and the Culture House and Omaha Performing Arts. They got the Hip Hop Lab coming up, which is going to dive into something that's close to my heart, man. The elements of hip hop, man, giving the youth experience. And again, somebody actually mentioned recording music, so they'll be recording music, DJing, MCing, graffiti, all the elements of hip hop, man, getting introduced to youth. So again, shout out to Omaha Performing Arts and the Culture House for this, man. Put in the work. Summer camp, Hip Hop Lab summer camp going down in July. Also going down, I believe, in June. Brother Sherman Wells starting his program back up at Assembly of the Saints. So yeah, man. Yeah. Definitely got to put some respect on these brothers' name. And the work is being done. But how can we again, remove some of these barriers to get parents involved and get some of these volunteers to help these brothers push this thing forward, and sisters.
we're coming to the end of the show here. Appreciate everybody's comments. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but please check them
That's
out
going
here.
on.
Yeah, it's definitely going off. I appreciate that very much. And we're on the same page. Like I can see the reason why the chat got heavy is because people are coming up with solutions. People are
That's what
talking
we're here
about.
for.
Yeah, we're here with it. So that's what's up. Appreciate that very much. What you know?
Yeah, two comments coming out that yeah, like you said, we all on the same page, and thoughts that I wanted to acknowledge before we get out of here. First of all, brother Tyree Uri again asked from the elder his thoughts on the youth, and he said we need to create a cultural and spiritual and athletic syllabus for youth, particularly in the summertime. We are the greatest program. We are the ones that can save our children. So we need to come together perhaps every month to work out what we can do to facilitate these great ideas. Okay, brother Tyrone. Hey,
Love that idea.
yeah, keep on coming through. And then also, Sister Wanda Lewis reading my mind. I actually heard a statistic that there are 300,000 or 400,000 electricians and plumbers shortage in the nation. And Sister Wanda Lewis, the youth at MCC built those tiny houses, mechanics and electronic repairs, all can be essential. Teaching the youth how to make some money is also a very, very interesting thing. Something that they will clean going to.
Big time.
And learning a trade is a great way to make some money, especially in this. It's gonna be new buildings getting built, homes getting built, apartment buildings. Hey, learn a trade.
Very true. Heather Williams says parents need to be more involved. If it's something your kid wants to do, get involved. It's always going to come down to the family. Family needs support as well in order to even help them kids be able to do stuff. Stephen Abraham says, I be thinking I live with a band sometimes as my kids play multiple instruments. Example of a parent right there that's allowing the noise in the house. I know how it is. Yeah. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Everybody has a lot of really good ideas here, and we continue this conversation, continue to talk about it. I really have boiled down for me is really like who are going to be the adults that kind of help step up and facilitate that. We used to go to teen clubs. It was grown folks that owned them clubs.
Man,
Who was going to put the clubs together? It was grown folks that was in there as security and in there as you know what I'm saying? Like they help facilitate that situation and to try to keep people safe the big way. So we'll continue the conversation next week. We appreciate everybody that's coming through. And also don't forget about looking up what the Empowerment Network is doing with the Step Up program as well. We want to talk about
Yeah, that too.
summer jobs for kids. We have sports facilities coming too for kids that are more inclined that way, but we also have empowerment and business situations that the Empowerment Network has put together as well, and getting a whole bunch of kids, man, thousands of kids jobs in the summertime, facilitating a lot of what's going on here. So we're seeing it happen, and it's here. It's just really about how many parents and people are going to get involved in that's really what it boils down to. So we'll keep talking about this. We'll have some special guests in on next week. Please definitely check us out on YouTube. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe, and check out all of the candidate interviews that are continue to be dropped, but also previous shows, past shows. So you can remember what it is we're talking about. Keep this on mind. I got a list of stuff on my YouTube now that's like stuff I want to listen to over and over again. So I can get it all right. You know what I'm saying? And I will go back and play stuff that we talked about and stuff that other people talked about, just so I can kind of keep formulating these ideas. It's not a one-off conversation. It needs to keep going.
Yep.
So appreciate that very much. Don't forget to hit the Empowerment Network's North Omaha Moving Forward to Transformation 2030. Let's finish the plan. The plan got started a few months back, I think, and now they're going to have this second conversation here tomorrow morning at 8:15, from 8:15 to 12. Breakfast will be served, and they're going to have some people, some few people that've been in the news lately. Author John Ewing, who's running for mayor. Also Ben Gray, who's running for City Council District 2. LaVanya Goodwin, who's running against him in District 2. And we'll be able to sit with them and find out what they have to say about how North Omaha needs to be transformed moving forward. So definitely check that out if you can. Yep.
Man, love to hear what Mean Gene got to say.
She's been saying a lot lately. She's been saying a lot lately. But like Senator McKinney said, though, for clarity,
get some things straight.
She might have had something to do with it, but no, them brothers are the reason why this stuff is happening. So that's what I appreciate it. Got some we'll go ahead and get out of here. Before we do, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Brother Yuri for coming on this morning. I appreciate you getting up early. He said, also, thank you for the time and dedication to the interview you did with me. Such professionalism, you demonstrated such excellence. Appreciate the compliment. Really, really do. And it was a tough day. He was with me. We kind of we hit 2 or 3 different places trying to get it going. We finally got it in. I'm glad we got it. It was on the last day. I know that you probably didn't have a lot of good time, good enough time for people to hear what you had to say and be part of that conversation a little bit more. That was on both our parts. We couldn't really communicate on the time frame to get him in there, but I felt it was important to do it, even if it was on the last day, because he's the elder in our community that felt the need to run, and I got respect for that. And obviously, he has some ideas about what we need to do and wants to help. How many people we just talking about it? Where are the people at? Where are the people that step up and help? So shout out to Brother Yuri for stepping up. And we'd be anxious to hear what you have to say and can contribute as with the wisdom to what we are trying to do here in our community. So I appreciate you very much. Pop says, thanks for an awesome week of shows. First Sky is becoming an Omaha institution, and I love it. Appreciate that, Pop.
Thank you.
Says, have a great weekend, everyone. And yeah, man, appreciate that. What say you, buddy?
Yeah. I mean, definitely big thanks and big ups, appreciation of what Pops is saying as far as the week of awesome shows. I think this was a pretty good week. Started off with the Senator Cypher, had Brother Myron on Wednesday, and nice conversation today. Of course, look out for the weekly wrap to kind of recap all of these conversations. And of course, you can check us out on YouTube if you want to go back and rewatch some of the episodes, catch some of the conversations. And until next time, man, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you, as always, for the support that we've been receiving. And let's just keep moving forward, man. Very exciting. A lot of opportunities, a lot of chances to be the change that we want to see. So, let's get busy. It's time for some action. In the meantime, between time, man, check us out later on. Weekly wrap. And without further ado, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, same time, same place, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. In the meantime, Paul B.
Hey, wait, I had opportunity to sing that time. In the morning.
My bad. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. I don't ever get to, I'm not the one able to say it. Weekly wrap dropping at 4:00 today. I went ahead and put the weekly wrap in the chat. In order for, if you have not signed up for this, go ahead and sign up now so you can get today's edition at 4:00, the 4:00 drop. And I'll get your taxes done, y'all.
Man,
You got 4 days. If you're not gonna get them done in 4 days, then call your tax person, say you need an extension.
Man, my back.
My neck and my back, man. That tax, man.
Taxes are taxing.
And who's at the IRS even working right now? It's a hot mess, bro.
Elon Musk robots.
Muskbots. Yeah, take care of y'all. Take care of you. Take care of your business. You don't want nothing hanging out for these fools to try to do something about.
Hey, next year you're gonna be filing on Tax X.
You ain't even gonna be filing. They're just gonna go in your account and grab it out.
Yeah, just gonna take it. You're just gonna wake up.
I think you owe this much. Yeah, hot mess.
Yeah, let's get up out of here, man.
Have a good weekend. Shout out to the Maha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land. Shout out to you, our elders, for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you for all those great suggestions at the end, man. At the end was going off. I could feel the flow. All of us on the same page, coming up with great ideas, solutions, and understanding what the real problem is. And hopefully that'll spur some action. Like Buddy said, time for some action.
Yeah, man.
Make it happen. Take care of yourselves this weekend. It's supposed to be pretty decent weather out. Get with the fam, live alive with one another, and we will check you on you Monday. We'll see you Monday. Guys, have a good one.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. Crossroad with the key
by any means necessary.
If you see Mayor Stothard over there at the African American bookstore buying some kente cloth, then RG has predicted what's going to happen. Peace, y'all.
Got hot sauce in the bag.